My name is Dominic Sewela. I'm from Soshanguve, north of Pretoria, and I'm the Group CEO of Barloworld Limited. I guess my peers will define me in a mixed way. Some of them will define me as tough, those who are not very close to me. But those that are close to me will say Dominic is very supportive, but challenging. Too often we neglect some elements of our life. We focus on the jobs at hand, and the glamour that sometimes comes with the job. But at the end of the day, when you are lying in your sick bed, who is going to be visiting you? Family will be with you right till the end. So family for me defines me. Fundamentally, education is very important. I cannot overemphasize the importance of education. But having said so, experience, because at times you've been given leadership roles. It could be from high school, where you've been a leader in one capacity or the other, but you get to university. But by the time you get to a work environment, it's about skills and competence. And normally we get promoted for being good at the jobs that we do. And then we start leading teams. And the fundamental element about leading is one's ability to say you want to bring a good out of people. So it's important that one becomes conscious of one's role in one position to make sure that you don't destroy people that work for you, but you actually bring the best out of them. For me, leadership is about stewardship, legacy. Those two things fundamentally define leadership in the sense that if you're leading people because the baton was passed to you, you need to ensure that you leave those people better than when you started leading them. And it doesn't matter what level you're in any organization, but it's very important that fundamentally you say, if you've been given something, be it an organization, be it a role, make sure when you pass it to somebody else, it's far better than you found it. And that's why I say stewardship is important, and therefore legacy is going to be defining things that you say your great-grandkids could remember that my dad used to work for Barloworld, or my granddad used to work for Barloworld, and this is what he's known or what he's done for that organization or that role. An organization is made up of people. If you think about us where we are, we live in a digital age, therefore it is important that our company becomes relevant. The people that we employ, in terms of their age group, in terms of their expertise, are different from when I joined the company many years ago. So therefore it was imperative for us to journey on this cultural change. That would mean that we bring and usher new opportunities for the future of this company. I think the biggest challenge that we as leaders, particularly men, because we've been privileged by the virtue of our gender, is creating access to those that are different from us, be they from a gender point of view or any other criteria we use. But fundamentally, when you look at the journey that Barloworld has moved to date, we are basically leading in diversity. We employ women at various categories. We've set ourselves a target that by 2020, 40% of the people employed top to bottom in our organization would be women. But we also understand though that if you don't include them in whatever it is you do, they cannot be the best they could be. There are certain barriers that needs to be removed. It is in perception, in making sure that they've got enough seat on the table, particularly in decision making, so that they can also create an environment that is conducive for them, as opposed to me as a man saying this is conducive for a woman. And that will ensure that women just will thrive in an organization like that. Early on in my career, I was an entrepreneur. I started many companies. In those companies, I had leadership failures where I lost money. There was a time where I was involved in a transaction that I could have lost reputation. And the combination of all those experiences has made me the person that I am in terms of being aware how important it is, how I impact people as a leader. Therefore, how important it is to have sustainable companies that are profitable. But similarly, reputation is everything. And that for me is some of the lessons in terms of my personal failures that has journeyed me to this point where I am at now. My advice to young people and the general is being professional, being diligent in what you do. And because if you're not professional, people are not going to take you seriously, and therefore they're not going to grant you opportunities. And I don't say my way of rising to the top is the right way, but you can ask any successful person. We put more hours in what we do than people realize. So the manifestation of one being either serious or joking all the time, you can have fun. It's good to have fun, but it's also important to be serious about getting the job done. And therefore for me, it is not whether you're approachable or not approachable. If you walk with me on campus in Isando, you'll find a lot of people that I worked with for many years, they've got access to me. I'm approachable. I won't pass a person without greeting them, you know. But fundamentally, if you sit down with me and talk a business proposal, I'm going to ask hard questions because it's about business. Making money is not easy, because if it was, all of us would be having money. When you define a destination, let's say you're in point A to point B, and for me to be very clear, it's about, will this company be around another 100 years? My answer is yes. What's going to take for the company to be around another 100 years is to fundamentally change the performance of the company for it to be sustainable for another 100 years. But what builds companies is people. Those people are employees. Those people are customers. Those people are communities in which we work in. So one of the key things that we work on is building a diverse employment opportunities for people. It doesn't matter your gender, it doesn't matter your race, it doesn't matter your religion. So that's what's actually going to sustain this company. So when I look into the future, I see a top 5 company in the JST stock market. If you think about the size, I see it as a global employer, not just in one continent, but in multi-continents, far beyond what we have now.